I can see it. I'm being told, like, it might be, it could be match number one of today's games. We are going into it. Oh, that's so relieving to see the Sandhawk Isles underneath us as we sail on in for the first of today's matches.
There's clapping in the studio. People are elated that we're finally seeing these players getting that parachute straight towards the ground floor of the jungle. Get amidst it with the other players to ultimately do battle. They have looked forward to this, though, I promise you. I promise you. Gladiators up towards that northwest side, alongside with 628 in Hatin. Reject Tokyo actually dropping Reiji Osio again down towards Trifecta compound. This happened yesterday. One of the players from Gladiators was able to spot him out, take him down earlier on. I think that was, in fact, Tixie. So definitely a possibility for that to happen again.
Ravenclaw out close to Sarah as well from Reject Tokyo.
I think that is a bug. It's a bug we'll have to live with, which is the big arrow through the map. That's okay, though.
Yes. Well, we'll know where the plane path was.
Forever.
Yeah.
It would say.
Do not rehost this on our account, please. We are going into this one. I don't mind.
Totally okay with this.
This is, actually, I like it.
Yeah, this is absolutely fine. It's going to give some great insight towards the rest of the game. Cao Dailan right now versus Tiamba. Now, what do you think of Tiamba? Well, I think they're pretty good to start off with.
I think that's gone pretty well for them. Infinity IQ, though, as we said before, not in the best of forms. Unless you're Bensu, it hasn't been the greatest of showings from them. It hasn't been the greatest of showings of D+ Kia compared to their previous performances either, but over in Paradise Resort, they are once more embroiled into the thick of it straight away. But no one going down just yet. No one taking damage either. Ragnar, the GK, getting himself tucked back in towards the Sun Lounges.
Bensu and the boys, pretty much.
The Bensu Brigade.
The Bensu Brigade. Bensu and the extras. We could be here all day, really. There is the 2023 PMWI crate, though. That is not here all day. It is here. For a little bit longer. Well, it is here for a bit longer.
It is actually here all day.
That's true. It is here all day. But it is only here all month. It's available from July 15th through till August 15th. Pick yourself up some PUBG mobile swag to commemorate the PMWI main tournament, not the secondary rock, paper, scissors tournament, of course.
That will only live on in our hearts.
Exactly. Exactly, John. Stalwart up on high currently, over towards boot camp. They do have Icy scouting down towards Reject at the moment. Now, Stalwart got a great game yesterday.
They did.
On Sandhawk. They didn't move, though, right? I think that's the main thing to look at, whether they had absolutely nowhere to go. And even then, Fireflux did give them a nice run for their money towards the end, as did Alter Ego. With Octa, Box were able to put up some decent performances yesterday, John. Currently set in 5th place, 41 points. Not bad at all.
Yeah, pretty solid overall performance, but you do need to be pumping those numbers a little high if you want to step up to the Vampires, because seemingly they are untouchable. Certainly in day ones, right, of these tournaments. It's the same story as we saw back in the All-Stars stage. They're day 2, though, and we spoke to Sir Tanya about this. They're worried about continuing that power into day 2. It wasn't the best of showings, but with the circle sitting as it is here on Sandhawk, it's probably quite good news for them. They don't have to make that hard break out to the east as fast as they maybe would given any other circles. It hasn't quite decided whether or not it's going to that southwest island fully or going over to the mainland on Sandhawk, but it's going to give them more time to play around. On the flip side, though, that coastal, that side of the river, that eastern bank of that river, is going to be a lot more packed with players. So that crossing could be way, way harder.
D+ Kia getting back into this engagement with GK. Now, Max said he really did not want to see this happening again. They had a whole 2 hours to reconsider this. They haven't. They still want to go for this over in Paradise Resort. Very stubborn. Only one more Sandhawk. They still want to make this happen here. There are several locations around the map. You know, Kampong, Docks, Lakawi. Fairly open around Alpha 7, though Alpha 7 do like their space their area. Don't like too many teams getting through there. 628 looking over towards Gladiator as they sail on past. Sune, rest of the squad inside the vehicle. 33Z won't be able to hit those shots. They will move straight through over towards that trifecta compound. Have to be a little bit careful here considering they know that there's some players over towards trifecta at the start from Reject. Luckily, they've moved further down towards that south side. On the edge of the bridge now, just hovering.
There have been some scenarios where Gladiators have held on that northwestern island and just sort of stayed over towards that hilltop and Camp Alpha late into circles where they know that they will eventually need to leave. This time is not one of them. Even Matic has regrouped with them. Which is good news for what we wanted to see from this roster. Ooh, a little knockover towards Stalwart from Reject Tokyo. That is not ideal, but that does look, yeah, that looks resable for Icy. They can drop that smoke and be really quite safe. Long-range shots from Reiji, just keeping that suppression onto the position that they have on the hill south of Boot Camp. They will be able to maintain that, however. So just stay head down, nice and safe. Will reduce the pressure, actually, from the east side onto the Gladiators.
Yeah, Regioso probably the most standout player to emerge from the Japanese region. I don't think you could really talk about any other player who has had such a big impact as him. I think, obviously, Divine back in the day was very good, but it was a few clutch moments here and there. But I think Regioso has just been consistently very strong.
Yeah.
The rest of the team has just rallied around him. Like Sarah's been in the game a long time, Lufa as well. So honestly, I do think Regioso has carried them slightly. But it's more of a case of that he's able to stand up to these international lobbies, whereas the rest of the guys are just a little bit behind. So maybe we could learn a thing or two from their teammate.
He's the engine that you put in the chassis of the team. And he has been driving them forwards. Fantastic to see. Hopefully a little bit more power to be squeaked out of that one in today's games. It is a very, very tough lobby. So even being towards the bottom of the tables, getting any points in this is certainly a task. Circle shifts down south, leans towards the southwest island, doesn't fully decide on it just yet again, but a lot of teams on that south side will be a lot happier. You can see Fireflux decide that they want to be one of those teams.
Yeah, if you're one of the northern teams now and you're moving down south, does pose this problem right now where we are tilting over towards the southwest island. It's really difficult to cross that river in the end game. We already see, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Goodness me, a lot of teams over towards that north side who will all have to cross that.
Sesame Street.
What, county?
Yeah. They do numbers there, don't they?
That's correct.
I've heard that.
It's also just called math.
I'll accept maths.
Yeah. Anyway, when you start doing words, I'm just going to say Sesame Street from now on.
That's good.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Right. So the bridge, though, as I was saying, there's 9 teams because we can count to 9. Obviously, I've improved. It's really difficult to cross that river come to the late game, especially at its most thick points. There are some bridges, some very shallow regions that you can cross over quite easily, but a lot of teams will be pushed out of that position early on, which is why you are seeing quite a few teams pushing up towards Painan and on the edge there. You don't really want to give up too much space down towards the southwest side, towards Sami. You want to ensure yourself in a position where you basically have 3 shots towards these teams on the north side. In the meantime, Fabian takes a tumble. Forrest equally going low, and Rosemary taking down Mafioso from Alter Ego.
This fight has been going on for a long, long time. A standoff in Paradise Resort finally bubbling over and ending up with DK on the better end of the deal. Forrest has other things to say about him. He doesn't have any meds. He's on the outside. He's doing damage, but will fall down. And with him, D plus Kia are eliminated. Both of these teams, they stuck around for too long. Nobody wanted to leave. And because of that, Tiamba are just going to move straight on past and pick up some points, I'd imagine.
Yeah, this could be a really easy squad wipe for Tiamba at the end of the day. Just hovered around this area. And for D plus Gear, this is just not in their wheelhouse, right? I think they're a great central team. They play very good. They take excellent angles, have some amazing sight lines, and some players with unreal aim on their side. So the fact that they were just holding out Paris Resort, a Southwest Island finish, Doesn't make too much sense to me. Now, Tiamba's coming through, drops some Molotovs down. Ren quite close to the rest of the guys. Really nice Molotov, in fact, just spreads on the floor. I think there was 2 tossed in there. Now Satan left remaining. Big hit. We'll find at least one.
For a second as well, nearly gets it, but doesn't have any meds. The blue zone is there. The nade through the window, and Tiamba pick up the points. That's what we said we wanted to see. 3 eliminations found. They can get the res onto the teammate there, so should be able to pick that up. They will have had the meds that they haven't had to bleed out and not been able to loot from being stuck in that standoff in Paradise Resort. They'll be absolutely fine on that northeast side. The difficulty they'll face is that they're coming into the circle very, very late, Blink.
Yeah, and I mean, by the time they get to... Wow, that is...
nasty.
That is really grim. Alpha 7 definitely thrown a bit of a bone here. So they'll wag their tail at, because I would be very happy at this kind of thing happening to me. I think for them, they were worried about getting across with Alter Ego, having full information on their position, the widest part of the river, going down towards Camp Charlie to cross. Now it's completely indecisive in between. Alter Ego can't really spend too much time on just trying to take more shots over towards their position. They need to protect over towards southwest side. DRS currently moving in as a Vampire. 628 also looking towards that position. And the Gladiators have waited a long time for something like this to happen, and they've finally decided they're going to head towards the north side. And I think that's a smart decision, right? Yes, they were lackluster on the approach, but you wait, you're patient, and you know the north side's going to be far more clean than down towards the south. That's where most players would have assumed this was finishing. So there should be some compounds available for them to pick up. Because Tiamba's not here. DK and D plus Kia have been locked in combat for a long time. Practically thrown away their Sandhawk because of this.
Bad luck on that one. Stalwart. Spot Kitsune. He's taking a tumble in the buggy. He needs to be very careful here. Gets the acceleration from the hill. Gravity playing on the side of the Gladiators. Seeing them safe a little bit longer. Top. Or Stalwart playing in one of the hardest compounds to move past, to move in towards, should you need to. But it's right on the edge of the circle. So not really on the cards for Gladiators to push straight through. But Icy's going to break out, actually, on that north side and maybe crash into the Gladiators' rotational path.
Yeah, Icy swinging out like that. Get some good rotation done. Just tries to figure out whereabouts these guys are playing. But the 3-man squad already and outside the vehicles take shots. That could be a bit of a dangerous opposition to take there. There is a compound up towards that northern side. I don't think Gladiators are going to take that one. They'd rather just pick up the high ground over in this position within the tree line. If you do play this spot, though, you have to be careful about players like this. Just snaking their way up the hillside. They can get so very close. And there's only so many positions you can play up here anyway. Between the rocks, this is one of the most common positions up towards one of these Simba perches.
On the east side, this is a little bit further southeast of the Gladiators' engagement. Tiamba pick up one and maybe a second as well over towards Bensu on Infinity IQ. Now just Ferrari remains. Tiamba all still alive. Playing on this east side, they've managed to march south effectively. A nade from Ferrari does the job for one. Onto Tianyu as he launches a second, looking for YDD, and he gets it done as well. Can lob this Molotov through, and there's no one from Tiamba now looking to go for this res immediately. The circle pops and it heads up north. Ferrari on the hillside, and Ren tries to pick up the shots, but Ferrari gets a third. He's getting the knocks done, and he's making it work. Now it's just over, and he's already low. The rollover from the vehicle sends it out wide, and now he's really left wondering what the hell just happened. Ferrari taking them for a spin.
I mean, a 1v3 already. Over, gets the heel off, moves round. Gladiators off in the distance. He's trying to spot this player. Alpha 7 also making their way in to steal up the remainder of these points. A nade in hand. And it looks like Ferrari's actually trying to finish the job. He does hear the shots though, and Carrillo sends a pretty well-placed grenade. Ferrari has complete information of Over's position, already done a little bit of damage towards him. I think Ferrari would like to finish off this fight.
Certainly would. I mean, we thought it was only Bensu on this roster, but no. Seemingly they got some power in back pockets they haven't been able to dig through just yet. And there it is. Tiamba are going to be eliminated.
It's a 1v4.
Infinity IQ. It was a 1v4 with the assist from Alpha 7. I'll give him the caveat on the end.
No assist. No assist. He actually took down Ferrari all on his lonesome before he got taken out by Alpha 7. So it's just a classic 1v4.
Oh.
And 628 comes through to deal with Reject Tokyo. Sara moves out from the side, and 33Z with low HP. He's got the Berserker mode, running strong.
Moving through. 628. Want to keep up the pace from yesterday. Sunan chunking away with that DBS. Into Painan they go. And a statement they've made as well. Sunan can get res there. They'll be happy on that one. On the south side in the meantime, Alter Ego, who have lost Potato already, playing as 3, facing off against DRS, who are on 2 with 1 knock. Rosemary, though, gets a little bit bold with a nade, and Delta changes the tune a little bit too fast for their liking. Gianti bleeding out, not going to be resable now. Delta and Killer, kind of the 2 players you want from DRS to go ahead into the game. Fnatic and Octa for Alter Ego on the south side, just trying to get out of dodge.
It's a good step up from Rosemary, but an even better one coming through from Delta. That stand-up there, it comes out so surprising to Rosemary as he crawls his way into position. Alter Ego down towards his southeast compound to keep him safe for the time being. We got the box formation down towards that central side. We saw them moving around a lot yesterday, which is a little bit out of character for Box Gaming, but this time around they're heading over towards that compound, which is now dead set one of the best places to take the win on this game. It is down towards the low ground though, so right now Gladiators have a little bit of advantage in terms that they have all this high ground ridge to play around with. Action very close towards their position, as are Alpha 7. Vampire still going strong. They take down easy from Twisted Minds.
Never count the Vampires out. Schweppes launches the DBS too easy. And picks up the point. 2 eliminations found. They've been crunching in from this west side, playing together nicely. That route out of Painan, though, we know how dangerous that's always going to be. The Gladiators on the high ground sort of been giving them trouble for a while, but with Icy low and already having lost a player as well, they don't have the presence that they once did on the north side of this position.
They have shifted over. Now, I was talking to Kale earlier today about Gladiators, and I think he brought up a really good point, just saying that honestly some of the rotations that Matic takes, some of the off angles he does, just isn't really worth it anymore because he's not finding those shots anyway. He'd be better off with the team with the ability to go for a refrag, and it does feel like their splits are far closer together already here on Sandhawk, just moving through. A lot of times when they're leapfrogging locations, it is in very quick succession. Nice nade from Schweppes. It's what you expect from the Vampire squad. They really have changed the game when it comes to nades.
Nice. Another one. 2 perfectly placed nades. That's how you want to be spending your ordnance. Killer wants to put one back amongst them, but we'll see what he's able to get done there. Twisted Minds get picked apart by 628 on the far side of the river in Painan. 33Z actually spotted. Killer still at the back of Vampire. Schweppes goes down, pushing out Painan. Very, very deadly there. Box stay in the circle. Gladiators close to the edge, but will the high ground keep them in the circle?
Yeah, that high ground they'll have to descend from. Senetexa takes a fall. Ooh. That's from Team Falcons, in fact. All the way on the eastern side. That's on the edge of the circle, but Box Gaming should be on for a chicken dinner. They play things correctly. There is still a lot of things that can happen. Switch things up. Fireflux yet to have moved from their position down on that south side. They'll have to bridge in the circle at the moment. Much needed.
Neither player going down there. That was a really close fought trade. Molotov goes long and stops the close angle being peaked, but Stone goes down to a nade from Sunan. The blue zone pushes onto Vampire first in this scenario, but neither team going to be happy about it. Falcons have moved up to Alpha 7 in the meantime, and Revo now looking to rampage around the rock side with the DBS. And Falcons fall in their face, but Gladiators are here for the third party. We've seen this from them yesterday. They move straight in as soon as they hear those gunshots ring out. The nades can start to pour in, but they're being answered. The Molotov to slow the Gladiators, the burn around the side forces Revo to take a peek on a single angle. The Gladiators are safe from the west for the time being, but they cannot let it go down. For Revo to stay alive and take one of their players will be disaster.
I mean, in clutch scenarios, Revo's the worst person to come up against, especially with DBS in hand. Still 4 bullets left in the chamber. We'll have to reload soon. And Meku will finish him off. Vampires make the swim across the river, but 628's there. But Tony K, once again, this guy is an absolute blaster when it comes to the lobby.
Runs straight across as well, but gonna get caught away. Picking up the points. Stalwart steal a lot of those. 628 now just with Yang One. A player that we wanted to watch out for today, but box across the open ground. Get the shift, they get the circle, the compound nigh on unassaultable.
It's going to be very difficult to get towards this compound coming down from pretty much open ground, right? Stalwart, again, another good result here on Sandhawk. Converting that is the big deal. Gladiators and Stalwart both only on 2 limbs either side. So a very quiet game, looking for those placement points. Now, second place is where things start to get a little bit juicy. Third place still isn't a huge amount of placement points in the third. Max Man's player to watch from yesterday opens up with a fantastic knockout over towards the Gladiators, but Box Gaming look out that way too.
Stalwart actually left really, really hard up against the blue zone here. Action, probably not, yeah, can't get this res. Probably could just sit behind the rock here, try and heal out, try and stay alive for as long as possible. Cannot get this healing done. Box are moving out.
Yeah, Box know they have to move out from this building. It gets a little easy with that high ground to just spot these players moving from this building. You wonder how long they've been here. They don't have the smokes and they're blown to pieces.
A nade sent back towards Matic gives a little bit of retribution, but it's 3 versus 2 now for Box on the inside. Gladiators have the run of the outside, and the uphill ramp means that the roof gets in the way of Peaks. You get a little bit of respite from that for Gladiators. They'll need to break out wide. Matic rezzed.
Gladiators a 4v2, looking to open up the day with a good start. Talking to Kitsune this morning, saying these guys, they start to get fast towards the end of tournaments. Day one, it doesn't matter, lad. You guys start to pop off towards the end. But I mean, Gladiators stepping up right at the start of day 2. That bodes very, very well. Slowly making their way down. Duck from Box, who had a really big impact yesterday, looks to hold off this off angle.
Tixie out in the open. Great sight line. So Duck's position, but he nearly gets naded out. Has to reposition fully. Cannot afford to fall in this spot. All 4 players active for Gladiators is huge, though. Truong on the inside gets the heal off, but the blue zone will push them first, and Gladiators are waiting. They've established their line of fire. They just need to win the trades blank. 8 eliminations for Box from their seemingly indomitable compound, but now they're going to have to leave it. The safety of the walls no longer there for them. The smokes have bloomed and Gladiators are playing on the outside. Kitsune breaks down. Truong looks for the trade and Meku not going to go down just yet, but takes a lot of damage. Falls to the floor again. Duck drawn low as well. Meku breaks up and wide, allowed to push forwards. Duck is low, but not out of it just yet. Finally he falls as the trade comes through for Tixie, and Kitsune finishes the deal. Gladiators pick it up from the top of the hill, pick up the points they need, and a great start for their resurgence in day 2.